Okay, so welcome to this new Inspiring Experiences webinar organized by the DigComp Hub project. And today we will hear the experience of a European project called BIBLIO, that ended last year. So it's a recently completed project where they used the framework DigComp to support the design of what we call professional digital profiles. They will explain what this means, and as I said before, it's important to this experience is important because it's an example of this activity of using DigComp for the professional digital profiles, which is a growing request by stakeholders who are looking at DigComp to design, to identify the requirements of the digital skills requirements of people working in all kinds of sectors. And DigComp is proving useful. Of course, when you go into this area, DigComp is never in itself enough. You always, in most cases, people integrate the framework with other frameworks or with other skill domains, but it's useful because DigComp deals with transversal digital competencies, so competencies which are useful, present in many different domains of life. So I pass the floor. We start with Nicola Barbuti, who is a professor of digital humanities at the University of Bari in Italy, who I think was the coordinator of the BIBLIO project. And then we will hear Elisabetta May, who will go deeper into the experience with the use of DigComp. So thank you very much to both of you. And Nicola, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Stefano. Hello to everyone. I share my desktop. So just a moment for opening my PowerPoint. Okay. Can you see?
Yep.
Okay. Good morning, everyone.
We actually see the, I don't know how you call it. We also see the slides, the upcoming slides on the bottom.
So I have to make presentation, okay?
If you can, yeah, that's better.
Yeah, of course. Sorry. Just a moment. Let me close this one. Okay.
Yeah.
Now?
Perfect.
Hello to everyone. I am Nicola Barbute, and I'm assistant professor at Department of Research and Innovation for the Humanities of University of Bari Aldo Moro, and on behalf of my university, I was the coordinator of the BIBLIO project. This project has been carried out by a consortium composed by Italy with the University of Bari, Istituto Centrale per il Catalogo Unico, ICCU, and EGINA. From Bulgaria, UCIT and GLBF, from Lithuania, Latvia, Greece, and Belgium. So it was a well assorted consortium from my side, in my opinion. And we have also two network in our partnership, in our consortium that were all digital, and the Public Libraries 2030. The macro objective, the general objective of the project was, as you can see, to develop skills and competencies, above all in the library sector, but the suggestions was to create a training model with aim to train for digital curators that could be able to work also in different fields of the heritage, of the cultural heritage, of the digital heritage. And to have this kind of training, the started asset was the concept of digital transformation. Digital transformation that all of us are living through the sustainable cooperation between sector representatives and the providers, we aim to provide a training model for developing such skills and competencies. Recognition the state of the art. We note that the librarianship, all of us knows that librarianship is not a regulated profession at European level. So formal qualifications are not ruled by some guidelines or some other rules at European level. And we shared with together with the partners the difficult to assess the digital transformation impact in the European library sectors, because the state of the art is that there are a lot of challenges to address in the training of professional for the librarianship sector, but not only for the librarianship sector. This assumption was one of the foundation that inspired the design of the concept of the BIBLIO project. And of course, also the creation of the consortium addressed this kind of need, because as you can see, we involved also two European networks. And the awareness that we had of this widespread need has been the start for defining the specific objectives of the project. So the specific objectives were to identify existing and emerging digital skills needs with a survey in the countries of the partners countries involved in the project, to define emerging job profiles provided with digital skills by analyzing the data carried out from the surveys, to support the development of highly skilled and qualified and mobile workforce, and to develop European vet curricula EQF5 based on a modular learning and training path, trying also to focus the attention on the sustainability of the training model that we were designing. So we designed two BIBLIO job profiles. The first one was DIGI, that is the acronym for Digital Transformation Facilitator, who supports the colleagues and the library's activities in the transition to the digital era. So DG professionals support digitization activities and the use of new digital tools within the library by interacting with the users. So they are the future professionals for the front office in the overall library system. The CICO, Community Engagement and Communication Officers, is a professional who reaches out to underserved communities to identify, pilot, and establish both building and non-building based library services that boost engagement. And also, he should address barriers to library use, literacy, and digital inclusion. So this is a kind of professional who has just some application in the United States, but at training level, there is no no training model for developing the competencies for this kind of professionals. The training programs that will expose Elisabetta with her presentation involved 1,169 participants to the MOOC and specialization courses, acquainted with the two job profiles. The courses were divided into several different phases. The phase one has been an introductory massive online open courses, MOOC. It needs need about 80 hours and was articulated in 26 training modules, and about 50,000 European participants, 500, sorry, European participants registered in the BIBLIO platform in order to allow them to approach the more complex issues later deepen in the phase two of the training program. And this was, from our side, a very interesting result, because we had almost in the first step 1,000 people, and in the second step 1,500 people. That is a huge number of participants in a training project. In the phase two, where we had the specialization courses of about 405 hours, we had two specialization courses, one for DG professionals and the second for SICO professionals. And we had also 38 transversal training modules. We had 25 selected participants per piloting country who had this kind of training program, 20 hours of face-to-face workshops, 160 hours of online classes and self-study, 40 hours of project-based learning, 20 hours of assessment, and 165 hours of work-based learning. And of course, the cost was free. And this was not, this was an interesting requirement of the project. And these are some of the essential quantitative and qualitative results we carried out from the project. We had 50 international libraries involved in the World Bibliography. WBL got acquainted with the two identified job profiles. We involved for training 33 external experts from the international established panel in the validation of the curricula that we articulated and defined, that we signed, articulated, and defined. And 1,169 participants, we said before. And we had in the partners countries 24,066 international participants to each to the different partners events. Last but not least, we have a meeting. We were invited by the Vice President of European Commission, Mark Angel, for a meeting in Brussels, and where we present the results of the project and the policy recommendation that we defined by the training model. We think that this project had a relevant impact in as training model, both for the contents of the training and for the model itself that we designed and planned. And the meeting in Brussels confirmed this our opinion, but it was not the only one confirmation of our opinion, because the course was presented to the African Digital Library Support Network by EGINA, and we are working to an idea to adapt the course and launch it there as well. The BIBLIO model inspired also the starting vision of the university library system of the Sri Lanka, and we were involved together with EGINA in the adoption of the BIBLIO training model in the Sri Lanka, in the same Sri Lanka, to join a capacity building project in higher education. And we are working to expand this model, not only at the international level, but we are working also to planning national training solutions, such as some courses, post-degree courses, and some other initiatives. Of course, the the inclusion of the BIBLIO model in the DigComp is for us a plus. And this was the overall vision, the overall general vision of the project. If there are some questions about this, we will answer at the end of this webinar. For the detail of the overall course, I let the word to, I pass to Elisabetta. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicola.
Okay, thank you very much, Nicola. And yes, I have a few questions, but I will keep them for later. And the floor now is to Elisabetta May, from project manager at Egina. And she will tell us how DigComp was integrated and used in this, in the BIBLIO project.
So thank you, Stefano, and thank you for having us, and for giving us the chance to present the BIBLIO project. And today with me, we are going to check how we apply the DigComp framework for the definition of the job profiles in this project. So first of all, as Nicola mentioned, the very aim of the BIBLIO project was to create 2 new innovative job profiles. And before arriving at the creation of the job profiles, we carried out extensive research activities within the partnership, which lasted more or less 1 year. And we began with the desk research at the European level, of course, in all the countries involved in the partnership. Then we designed an online survey, which was sent to librarians in Europe, and we collected 330 answers. And then the results of the survey were then validated through in-depth interviews and focus groups. And we interviewed at the European level 19 experts coming from different libraries in Europe. And then within the partnership, we also carried out some interviews to collect best practices in VET when it comes to the library sector. And all this brought to the creation of the 2 job profiles, so the Digital Transformation Facilitator, DG, and then the Community Engagement and Communication Officer, SICO. And in the survey I mentioned at the beginning, librarians were asked to self-assess their digital competencies according to some of the DigComp areas we highlighted throughout the initial research. So as you can see from the slide, we asked participants to self-evaluate themselves in information processing, communication, content creation, safety, and problem solving. And here you can have a look at the results we got at EU level. Of course, the research was done between 2020 2021, but still it is still pretty recent. And then all the results and analyses were developed and analyzed in the official BIBLIO report, which is accessible online. And maybe later on, if you're interested, I could also share the where to find all the resources in the website. And in the report, we highlighted the professional needs we analyzed throughout the research. And as you can see from this slide, the research highlighted 3 main areas of weaknesses in DigComp 2.0 from the online survey, and these were safety, digital content creation, and problem solving. As the librarians we involved in the survey didn't feel quite confident with these areas and with the related competencies. And then throughout Europe, there was a felt need and a strong need to receive upskilling opportunities, throughout the career of a library professional. And then the majority of the librarians agreed that there was a need, like for more digital-oriented library services and also more trained staff. And our answers to these problems were, of course, the definition of the two job profiles, and then the training courses we launched a piloted through the BIBLIO project. So as Nicola was saying at the beginning, we started with the MOOC, so the online training course, and then this was followed by a specialization course. And when it comes to the use and the adaptation of the DigComp framework to the creation of the job profiles, what we did is that, first of all, we analyzed deeply the framework, the DigComp framework, and we identify the specific tasks and key responsibilities for each of the two job profiles we identified. Then we selected the relevant competencies according to the profile, and then we adapted the DigComp abilities to the library sector. And in the slides, you can find the direct link to the job profiles we developed. But yeah, you can have an example I took from the SICO profile. So as you can see from this slide, in the description of the job profile, we highlighted the specific DigComp competencies. For example, yeah, we have the necessity to be able to browse, search, and filter data, information, and digital content. And then the capacity and the ability were transferred and adapted to the library sector. So, for example, in the problem solving area, we said that the SICO profile would be able to identify users' needs and communication of possible solutions to these via the library's communication channels, and all the competencies were adapted to the library field in this case, of course. And the same was done also for the DG profile. So we will have a similar description for all the abilities that the DG profile brings with it. And then once we define the job profiles, we continued with the drafting of the professional curricula. And first of all, the curricula were evaluated internally, and then we also involved a panel of experts coming from several countries of the European Union. And in this phase, we involved 33 digital experts from the panel we established at the beginning of the project, and all of them agreed that the proposed training path, so the one for DG and the one for SICO, was in line with the roles and the KPIs we expected for the two identified job profiles. And this brought us to the finalization of the curricula, of the two curricula. So as you can see from here, this is the curriculum we created for the SICO profile. And here there is at the beginning the reference to the workload, so divided between the MOOC, the specialization course, and the work-based learning. Then there is the reference to the aim and outcomes of the curriculum. And then we divided the competencies into several modules. And we divided them between the digital modules and then the one more related to the entrepreneurial and transversal competencies. And then the same was done for DG. So for the profile on the digital transformation facilitator, we have the same structure, of course, like the modules differ slightly between one profile and the other. But yet there is the same division between the digital competencies and the entrepreneurial and transversal competencies. And then we have the same references to the amount of working hours, the outcomes, and the aims of the curriculum. And so thank you a lot. And if you're interested, maybe later on I can also share you where to find all the resources online.
Okay, thank you very much, Elisabetta. So I don't know if Juan Jose and Anna want to have any urgent question to ask, or else I can start asking some questions, and then if you want to join in. Okay. I referred to the presentation, Elisabetta's presentation. In the initial survey, okay, Anna, I saw you. In the initial survey that you did with the librarians to understand, let's say, their level of digital skills, you used this kind of self-reflection approach.
It was a self-assessment,
Self-assessment, and I was wondering, how did you, because this is always a problem, how did you explain, or probably you didn't explain, but how did you deal with the issue of people not probably knowing what it really, I mean, the DigComp framework is not so well known around. Especially out of the education sector. So in order for people to answer what is their proficiency level, let's say on area 4, which is safety, they need to understand what does safety mean in DigComp. So how did you manage this problem?
So first of all, in the self-assessment survey, so in the online, in the online survey, we didn't actually specify the DigComp or the areas or the competencies, but what we did was to highlight, like internally, the competence areas we thought more relevant for the sector, and then we ask librarians to self-evaluate their competencies in relation to content creation or in relation to safety in the library. So we use the general topic to help them, like understanding more what we were talking about, sorry. And then in the questionnaire, we also add the reference to the European Commission website, where they could find more information on the framework we were using, so that, if they want, they could further check the contents and analyze what the framework was about. And then also the answers and the results were then analyzed during the interviews. And during the interviews, we had the chance, like to maybe introduce the framework and to explain why we chose that specific areas or competencies.
Right. And before, because it's closely related to this, before passing the word to Anna, why? Because you decided to address, you refer also to entrepreneurial competencies. So, and I saw that you refer to EnterComp, basically, to the EnterComp framework. And why you did not consider the ECF, the e-competence framework, which is the one for IT professionals. I'm thinking not so much for SICO, because SICO, okay, it's not something for an IT professional, but the digital transformation facilitator, it's really a very close, in general terms, to me, sounds very close to a change management expert in a company. So I was wondering if you consider this possibility, why you chose EnterComp, and why basically you didn't include the ECF as a source of
So actually the ECF was mentioned. So in the full description of the curriculum, there is the reference to all the European frameworks we used, and we used that specific framework, so the one, you know, like on ICT for the development of the modules. So we didn't actually use it for at the initial phase because we still didn't have the, you know, like the data to understand the key responsibilities of the job profiles. But when we saw that so a stronger training on digital was requested by the sector, we also used several frameworks in order to shape the digital content and the training. And for example, also like change management, it is among the modules we created within the course.
Okay, so you integrated, let's say, elements of the aspects of the competencies which are addressed by ECF in the training directly. In the
exactly.
Okay.
So it was more done like internally by the partnership, while for the DigComp framework areas, we also involved the target groups. But for the design of the training material, all the educational partners, you know, like refer to several European frameworks.
Okay, thank you, Elisabetta.
You're welcome.
Anna, if you want to ask your question, you can also switch on your camera if you want, or if you don't, just switch on the microphone.
Hello.
Hello, Anna.
Hi.
Hi. My web camera is at home, so I look a bit.
Don't worry.
Okay.
That's fine.
I found this very interesting. I think this DigComp framework, it holds. It's been there for a few years, but it still holds. I use it as a visual display for people who visit the library to see if you want to have digital skills. It's more than just knowing how to use Facebook. You need lots of areas. And these job profiles, I'm actually a mix of both of them. I both use digital transformation with my co-workers and in the region and also in the municipality, because nothing really happens if not all of us kind of innovate, or we find a base where everyone has the same skills. So that's what I'm trying to work with, and also all these outreach and courses and lectures, and I haven't looked in detail on these job profiles because I wasn't part of the project. I did the MOOC, but it looks very much like both of them is in my job role, and I think in many job roles in Sweden. We have something called digital centers that focuses on both of these parts. But yes, I want to learn more about it, and I think you need to train the librarians also, my colleagues, and there are lots of good stuff here. We can, focus on learning all these bits, because we don't really get it in the education at university, or we barely have time in everyday work, but it's so necessary if we're going to all keep being innovative and raise the bar, so to speak. Yes, so yes, I'm very interested in hearing more. You had links and everything.
Yeah. So Anna, in the chat, I shared the link to the website where you can find so basically all the contents. And then just like in reference with what you were saying, I think that the methodology we applied was effective, as we in the methodology we also foresaw the students or the learners to, at the end of the specialization course, to go into the library to carry out an innovative project. And so, the fact that they were young, passionate, and they wanted to, to develop many innovative projects, and then they had the chance to meet the librarians working at the library, and they could, exchange their knowledge and skills and expectations. So I believe that the internship part played a very huge and crucial role in the success of this project, like the BIBLIO project.
But these job profiles, are you going to kind of push it out and have more online education and MOOCs for librarians?
So at the MOOC and the specialization courses, they are all online, and the MOOC is only in English, while the specialization course is available in English, Italian, Bulgarian, and Greek. And there is the possibility to register to both of them. So if you're curious to learn or also to check the contents, you can do that by simply checking the links and register online. And then all the countries, basically, they are adapting the knowledge and the contents we created within their own system. And maybe, Nicola, I don't know if you want to share what the university, so the coordinator of the project, is actually doing at the moment based on the results we had.
Yes, briefly. Thank you, Elisabetta. And of course, we have a first experience has been for applying the BIBLIO model has been a summer school we had in 2022, and we tried to apply the modular model for articulating the digital training, the training on digital competences in different sessions. So we had specific modules that integrates with some others, and this has been an experience to scale the BIBLIO model in a short course such as a summer school. And of course, we are also designing some post-degree courses. We in Italy name these courses as master, that are such specialization post-degree courses. And we are trained to base these courses on BIBLIO model because we are aware that the challenge that we understood for the first time with BIBLIO has been the managing of digital collection. It's just not the question how can we digitize the heritage, the cultural heritage. The challenge, such as Stefano said before, is to provide competencies for managing what we are digitizing in the next future, because up to today we have some difficulty, because of course we know that digital collection doesn't have only library materials, but librarians must manage digital collection that can include digital objects and digital documents related to several kind of heritage, if we are speaking about digitized object. The matter is more relevant to born digital objects. And so our challenge is to plan, starting by the BIBLIO model, training courses for the management of the digital environment, the digital ecosystem that we are creating in this year by digitization of heritage. And we are also thinking to a follow-up of the BIBLIO model. We try to provide a more articulated training model in the CBHE with the Sri Lanka University Library System, and we are planning to spend this kind of effort in some other European project, but also to test in university, not only university courses. We are training also to address the high school environment with this kind of courses, and we are designing how we can provide for this solution, of course. Starting by the experience, not transferring the total experience in the high school. Of course, I mean this one. And this is the possible perspective, one of the possible perspective of the model. Of course, we are also discussing with some partners such as Public Libraries 2030 for planning some other training models to share with the partners country and also with other European countries.
Okay. I don't know if Anna, do you want to ask something else, or should I? No, you're muted.
Okay. Thank you. No, I'm going to check out Elisabetta's links there, and maybe we can have like a discussion in our hub also, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. And I had I'm reporting to you a question that was sent to me by a community, a COP member, Simone Aldo Bonporto, who wrote the following question about, he wanted to join, but he said, I'm not sure I will be able to do it. So he sent the question. He says that he wanted to ask to ask something about the alignment of the BIBLIO project with the standards. The UNI is the national, is the equivalent of the CEN-LEC standards at European level. UNI is the Italian standardization body, and he talks about there are some standards for librarians and archivists, and he says how BIBLIO relates, this is my understanding of his question, to these standards, as because he says, considering the fact that DigComp is basically designed having in mind, let's say, relatively not specialist people. So as I said before, DigComp is about transversal digital competencies. So and so he asked, how was the training that you designed integrated to make it valuable also for higher level professional profiles? Are there any specific strategies or adjustments to adopt to fill the gap between the DigComp type transversal competencies and more specialized professional competencies in this specific domain of librarians and archivists? Now, I have no idea. I don't know this world, so I don't know what these standards define, and but maybe either Nicola or Elisabetta, you can comment on this or provide an answer to this question.
Yeah.
Eli,
No. Go ahead. Go ahead. You are the expert here.
Oh, okay. Well, during the BIBLIO experiences, the experience I can speak for my university. We designed and created a master degree course that is a transversal course because it involves the departments of research in the humanities and innovation for the humanities and the Department of Computer Science. So 2 departments together for having this course. And we name this course such as an interclass course. That is, we have 2 different courses, one for archival and librarianship, but it works together with the other course that is the scientific, for the computational competencies for humanists. So by having these 2 courses together, we plan to train for the new professionals that must address digitization of archival and librarianship heritage. But as I said before, first of all, the challenge is to train professionals who can manage what we digitize, what we are digitizing, and what we will digitize next future, because we have a huge amount of data in several different standards, national, international standards, with data, with scanning objects, with metadata, and so on. But we still have no professionals who can manage this huge amount of data as it needs, as the collection needs. So we plan this interclasses master degree for training this professional, just starting by the experience because of BIBLIO, because the approach has been in part a basic approach, of course, because we have no basic courses or baccalaureate courses for training to train for this kind of professional. So we have some, in part, some basic training, but we also specific training on some fields. This has been our first initiative.
Okay.
Of course, we share this kind of initiative with the other partners countries, and we share this initiative also with other national countries to have a network for providing training in these sectors. And we think that, but this is a start. I think that we need to plan several different courses, not only university academic courses, but also to train for other different segments of professionals who must work in library and archives as operators for digitization, for scanning, because a lot of people don't know how complex it is to scan digital heritage and documents and to manage it when you have to publish online this kind of documents. And but this is a startup phase from my side, and we are working for having a strategy for plan this kind of training.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah. Okay, thank you. And any other question or any other comment? Otherwise, we can finish the webinar. Okay, I don't see anyone else. So thank you again to the speakers and to the few but interested and active participants. And as usual, you will find, we will post the presentations and the recording on the web. And so thank you very much, and have a nice afternoon and
Likewise.
rest of the day.
You too.
Thank you.
You too.
Thanks a lot.
Have a nice
Bye-bye.
day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Have a nice
Stefano.
day. Bye-bye. Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ciao Stefano, grazie.
Ciao.
Grazie, Stefano.